Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to our Maths No Problem lesson on Thursday, the 28th of January 2021. For today's lesson, you need your Maths No Problem textbook to be open on page 56. And we are on to lesson 4 of 2D shape. Yesterday, children, you learned how to find lines of symmetry in shapes. You learned to discover whether shapes were symmetrical or not, and you did a really good job with your work yesterday, so well done. A big marshmallow clap to you all. Today, you're using that new skill of finding lines of symmetry in a lesson called Making Figures. Okay, and the figure is just this picture here, okay, that Hannah has made, okay, out of some shapes. Okay, so she's made this figure out of some of these 2D shapes. Okay, and the new figures that she's making and other children make in this lesson, okay, we have to look at closely to find out if they have lines of symmetry. Let's work through this in focus task together. Hannah made a figure using pattern blocks. I've explained she's made this here using some of these 2D shapes. Does the figure that Hannah's made have a line of symmetry? Okay, so these shapes here, we know have lines of symmetry, but does this figure she's made with them also have a line of symmetry? Have a little look, see what you think. You're probably calling the answer out right now. Let's carry on together in Let's Learn Part 1. So the shapes that Hannah could have chosen to build her new figure are all polygons, and we know that a polygon is a shape with straight sides, a 2D shape with straight sides. Okay, let's complete the table where we have to name each of the 4 shapes and the number of sides, number of vertices, and whether they have a line of symmetry. Should we do that together? Okay, so the first polygon here, the pink one, we all know, don't we, children? I can hear you calling out at the screen, is a triangle. Let's see if I can write with my pen using my mouse. I'm sure your work would be neater. Okay, but let's have a little look. So we need triangle T, R, I, A, N, G, L, and an E. Oh, not too bad. That end's a little bit wonky, isn't it? I could use my rubber just to make that sure. Okay, there we go. A little bit better. So our triangle, how many sides does it have? Remember, the sides we can mark off if it helps. 1, 2, 3 sides. And the next question is number of vertices. Can you remember what that word vertices means? Yes, I know you can. It's where those sides meet, isn't it? Sometimes we call them corners. 1, 2, and 3. So our triangle has 3 sides and 3 vertices. Does it have a line of symmetry? I hear you shouting, yes, of course it does. Wow, it might have more than one, but we're asked, does it have a line of symmetry? So I'm going to try, remember children, if you're drawing lines of symmetry, please use a ruler. Okay, so I'm going to try and draw my line of symmetry. There we go, a vertical one. And remember, for shapes symmetrical, if I was to fold it, cut it out and fold it on that line, then both sides would be identical. They would overlap perfectly. Okay, if I put a mirror on that line, each side would look exactly the same. So I have got a line of symmetry. I've probably got more than one. Can you spot any more in that triangle? Okay, let's go on to our second shape, the blue one. Okay. Before I name the shape, sometimes, children, it's helpful if I do know the number of sides and the number of vertices, because sometimes I can remember the name of the shape when I know exactly how many sides and vertices it's got. So I'm going to do number of sides first. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, you can tick them off if you want to. Number of vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice a little pattern here. Okay, so a 6-sided shape, a 6-sided 2D shape. Oh, what's the name I'm going to give to my 6-sided 2D shape with 6 vertices? Oh, I know you know, it's a hexagon. Hexagon. Okay. Hexagon. I'm going to tidy up that A just a tiny bit there. Being fussy, aren't I? Okay, and does it have a line of symmetry, my hexagon? Ooh, it has more than one line of symmetry, but I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Ooh, a bit wibbly. Rub it out and try again. Again. Let me try again, get that a little bit straighter. Let's see if I can. Okay, so it's got to be a straight line across the middle. I don't think that's any straighter. Okay, so again, remember to use a ruler to make sure you get a straight line if you were asked to draw a line of symmetry. But you can see that if I fold it along that line, both sides are identical. So there we go. Now this shape, children, this is an interesting shape, isn't it? Okay, you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, and we've learned already, haven't we, that 4-sided shapes with straight sides and 4 corners can be known as quadrilaterals. This shape also has another name. Okay, some people call it a diamond, but it's also known as a rhombus. That might be a new word for you. Also known as a rhombus. And that's our shape here in yellow. And we spell that with a silent H, children. So it's R, silent H, O, M, B, U, S. Does our rhombus have a line of symmetry? Yes, it has more than one, but I'm going to draw one of them in for you. Okay, from that corner or vertex to that vertex. And we've folded it along that line. If it was a straight line, that would be a line of symmetry. And I know you all know the last shape. Okay, that's our square. And I really don't think we should need to count the number of sides. I think we should know the number of sides that our square has got and our number of vertices. And we know it's got more than one line of symmetry, doesn't it? We could go across here horizontally, we could go down vertically, we could go from one corner diagonally to the other. So yes, it definitely does have a line of symmetry, but more than one line in that square, okay, and in those polygons here. So we've now named them, we've counted the sides, vertices, and we've checked they've got lines of symmetry. So using those shapes, Hannah drew this figure, didn't she? And you're asked, if you can, to draw it and cut it out yourself. But I know some of you won't have paper with triangles on. Okay, so we can work through these questions together. But I have put some triangular paper that could be printed if you've got a printer and you want to do it onto tapestry today. So if you were to cut it out, you're looking for a line of symmetry. And Charles here saying, yes, it is symmetrical, because there, on that fold line, that line of symmetry, both sides of that line are identical. Okay, so they match, don't they? We've got half of a pink triangle on either side of the line there, and so on. Okay, and we've got our hexagon and our 2 rhombuses completing that figure. So yeah, you see, children, Yes, that does also have a line of symmetry. Now, Sam, Lulu and Amira have all used those 2D shapes to make figures of their own. And we're asked what shapes have they used in the pictures and have they got a line of symmetry. So Sam's used a triangle and a rhombus. And yep, you can still find a line of symmetry there. Lulu has used triangles, 2 triangles and a rhombus. And yep, she's got a line of symmetry there. Is there more than one line of symmetry in that triangle she's created out of those shapes? Okay, I think you might be able to spot some more. Okay, and the last one, Amira, has created this pretty pattern here. I'd have wanted to finish that off with some more pink triangles there and there. I don't know whether she was too busy to finish it or whether she just thinks that that is perfect as it is. But in this picture here, it's been moved, hasn't it? It's been rotated and the line of symmetry is here, but you can still see the line of symmetry there. Okay, and remember, if you were to cut it out and fold it along that line, it would overlap perfectly. Okay. So, guided practice now. Question 1, which figures here have a line of symmetry? Big clue, children. They all do except one. If we can spot the one that doesn't. Okay, so if you want to draw the line of symmetry in, that would be lovely. But if not, just write down which ones do and which one doesn't. And then question 2, again, A, B and C, can you find a line of symmetry in those figures? Okay, and even in this one here. So you're looking for lines of symmetry in these figures that are made up of different 2D shapes. Once you've had a look at the guided practice, answered it in your exercise books, you can go to your worksheet 4, which you'll find on page 49 of your workbook. And there are 2 questions today. Question 1, look at the shaded shapes below. Circle the shapes that are symmetrical. So it doesn't say draw the lines of symmetry, it just says circle the shapes that are symmetrical. You say these grey shapes made up of squares. Okay. Which ones are symmetrical? Which ones have a line of symmetry? If they do, you need to circle them. And question 2, you do have to get your ruler out now and your pencil and draw the line of symmetry for shape A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Okay, again, remember to use a ruler to make those lines of symmetry nice and straight. And I hope, children, you're going to get all of those correct today. I'm sure you will. And you might want to whiz on to the challenge activity, which you'll find on Tapestry. Okay, that's entirely up to you. Okay, if you have time for it. Okay.